Hey everybody, welcome back to Just Another Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Comic. I'm here with Ricardo and Cavin. How you guys doing this evening?
Good.
Doing great.
Good. How you guys feeling after this show? What do you guys think?
I loved it. This was a pretty sick show. Great
Awesome.
crowd. And I think we all crushed it.
Yeah. I mean,
It's just fun. Like, it's so fun to see other comics doing different things, and then you're like, oh, I don't get to see this where I'm at or my scene.
Yeah.
And then so it's like, oh, they're doing this in Chicago, or they're doing this here, and that's always really cool to see. But then just an audience to be like, hey, this works, this travels.
they
you know?
were just excited for whatever was funny.
Yeah.
And you mentioned with different areas. So where are you guys from? I believe you're from Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. I've been doing comedy there for 7 years. That's where I'm out of.
All right. And where are you from?
I'm from Indianapolis, but I originally was Seattle Comics where I started, so I
Nice.
get to go all over the place.
And so as far as doing comedy, how long have each of you, we'll go back this way, how long have you guys been doing comedy?
It'll be about 8 years this year, yeah.
8 years? How long yourself?
7 going on to 8. So 7.5. I'm like a kid. I'm like 7 and 6 months.
Yeah. And with your guys' experience for how long you guys been doing it, what has been like the best thing in comedy you could like, if someone who has no idea what's going on in comedy and they're like, hey, what's the best thing about that? What would you explain or describe that to them?
The best thing of doing comedy for as long as I have, I guess it would be you get to see a lot of people that have quit. You're like, I'm so much better than you. Like, just as a person, better than you. Not necessarily funnier. But it's like, look at you, and you're just doing Uber Eats normally. No, I think it's one of the cool things to me is just to watch how a comic grows. And like sometimes you'll see a friend or somebody that like they started a joke, and maybe you didn't like believe in it. You're like, I don't get what's funny about that. And then just through the progression of working it, then you're all of a sudden like, oh, that bit is amazing. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that. There is something cool about this being an endurance test where you just have to outlast other people. And honestly, that's one of the best things about comedy for me is handling your tolerance for shame. It just goes way up. You become like, you're still embarrassed, but it doesn't near match where you were at like years ago.
Yeah.
You get so used to failure.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And
I don't like it. I don't like success now.
now, I would like to say everyone knows that comedy is subjective. So when you say you fail, is it because you think the joke didn't land, the audience wasn't there? What would you describe? Because I feel like comedy, you could try as hard as you want, say the right thing in the right time, but the crowd just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you learn what works by doing things that don't work.
Gotcha.
And
you
then,
almost
you
fail to you learn by failing.
You constantly fail, and then like through that failure, it gets better each time. I usually will say like good audiences help you write, and then like bad audiences help you edit. So it's always just
that's
when they don't love you, fix it on stage.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's pretty cool.
I mean, I love how much an audience like keeps me in check because so many times I just say the wrong thing on stage, and then until I say it, I believe they're gonna love it. Then I see the silence, and then I'm like, "Oh, never mind. I gotta
pivot.
I
Last second
gotta improve
move.
whatever I'm talking about."
And what has been kind of like we're kind of talking about whenever you fail. What has been like the worst experience you've had? Not just bailing. Like has someone like came up to you after a show? Have you had any like somebody send you a DM that says, "Hey, you're not funny," or "That wasn't good"? Like, what is something you could say as like a notch on the belt?
I think it was like my second or third year in comedy. I did the World Series of Comedy. Mm-hmm. So you go out, like you fly out to Vegas. It's multiple days, and you do like 1 7-minute set. And you have spent an entire week. It's a festival, so you don't get paid for it. Just for the like hope that somebody will see you and like your work and book you.
Lead on to other things.
And I didn't move on in that competition. And so about 4 hours later, I'm in the Strat Hotel in Vegas. Just like being sad at a slot machine. And this little old woman comes up to me and she goes, I just need you to know I didn't like a single thing you said. And then just shuffled away. And I was like, does my window open? Because I'm going to kill myself.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow, that's a great. I love that story.
Yeah, I don't even know she's in the audience. No, she just seen me.
Like, I was lip reading. I hated it.
Somebody was like, she says that to everybody. You don't understand. And you're like, that was a message to me.
Sadness at the slots.
Yeah. Do you have any experiences that you could think of?
I mean, the one that I really think of is I remember I just did this was years ago, but I did a show on the road, and I was like a chance to do like a kind of like a guest feature set before like the feature, and during my set, I just like, it was going well. Then I tried to pivot to do like some sex stuff, and this table in the front, one of the guy goes, is like, oh yeah, sex stuff, that'll work, and it hurt me so bad that I lashed out. And then you can feel that was like the peak of the show, and then I just started. It was like an endless silence for the last like 7 minutes of the set.
It was like nagging on you the whole time. You would say a joke, you're like, oh, I'm still thinking.
I
about
know,
that.
and then let me tell you, once you lose someone, everything else you say just feels like you're digging a further hole. I'm like, man, everything kind of sounds like a hate speech now in like a weird way. That was the worst, and then it was awful to see the comic like after me have to like rebuild the show from how bad I set the standards.
Yeah, it's pretty tough whenever you're watching someone bomb and you're sitting over there in the silence and you're like, I'm bombing over here watching you bomb. You get secondhand embarrassment almost. That's the worst.
It's like radiation.
Yeah. So with you guys being in different areas, do you guys travel a lot for comedy? Is that something you guys would consider you do often, or are you always performing locally in your hometown?
I kind of just go wherever there's work. So I do a improvised Dungeons and Dragons show
that rolls.
Yeah, that just travels around, and we do like a lot of the BART clubs and then just game shops. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's been everywhere from like Florida to Washington to New York.
Wow.
And just like I'm just like, oh, I can find I like con one nerd store into letting me be there, and I'm like, I'm here forever.
Squatters' rights. Yeah. But yeah, how about yourself? Do you travel a lot, or you do a lot in Chicago?
I do a lot in Chicago. I try to travel as much as I can, but I usually just keep it local for the most part. And then when I'm out, I'm excited. I love performing for all the strange cities. You know?
Absolutely. Well, can you guys go ahead and do your handles on where people can follow you and find you for more shows and your future events, and we can we'll wrap up this beautiful night.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at funnyisnotricardo. You can also go to my website, ricardocomedy.com.
Yeah, and you can find me on all the social medias at Cavin, that's CAVIN _EGG, so Cavin _egg, or CavinEggleston.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of this great night. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a great night.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.